Yo, what is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 67 of our Tracksuit to the Top series here with Lewis FC in the Premier League. Today I've got for you guys the FA Cup quarter-final. We're going to be taking on Liverpool. But before that, I've got to review the fixtures since the last episode, which of course was the Capital One Cup semi-final against Manchester United. So you can see, since that result, we have played 8 games. We got 5 wins, 2 defeats and 1 draw. Pretty good results all in all, the defeats coming against Manchester United and Newcastle. The Newcastle one a little bit of a shock, but we got some good wins in between. The first one of those came against Everton. As you can see, looking at the stats, we really outperformed them, played really well. 2 late goals sealed it and made it comfortable for us. Sonogo grabbing a goal. So that was big for us. The next game was against Manchester United, the third time we were playing them in the space of about 2 weeks. This was a pretty good result, all things considering. It was heartbreaking in terms of the fact we conceded so late on, James Wilson grabbing the 89th minute goal for them. But it was a good performance nevertheless. We really matched them, much like we did, I guess, in the first leg against them of last episode. So that was a pleasing performance despite not getting the point. And then from there we played 6 more games, the first of which was against Leicester. We won 2-1, fairly comfortable. Good to see Alex Samuel grab a couple of goals because he has struggled, you know, this year really. He struggled the last few years, I guess, looking at his stats. You know, he came to us in League 2, he was incredible at that level. And as we've moved up the leagues, whilst he is still debatably a Premier League quality player, he's just not performed to that kind of quality, I guess. I guess his inconsistencies kind of caught up with him. But he got 2 goals there, which was good. The next result was against Cardiff. Again, we scored 2, which was pleasing. This game was really odd. We actually had 2 goals in the same minute, which doesn't happen very often in FM. And doesn't happen at all, really, in real football. 2-2, disappointing because we were, again, the better team. We had more shots, we had more chances, we just didn't take them. But nevertheless, Cardiff have been a bit of a bogey team for us, so I guess to get anything from the game was slightly pleasing. Anyway, 4 games left to talk about. 3 wins, the first of which was in the FA Cup 5th round. It was comfortable until the 89th minute. We were actually 3-0 up with 2 minutes left of the game. I'm sat there thinking, easy. And then suddenly Stoke scored 2 goals in the space of 2 minutes, and I'm sat there for the last minute of extra time, kind of praying to the gods, I guess. But in the end, we did win, and of course, that sees us in the 6th round, or the quarter-final, against Liverpool. Anyway, the only other defeat besides the Manchester United one in the Premier League came against Newcastle. They were just more clinical. We weren't good enough, we didn't take the chances that came our way. Pretty disappointing all in all, and to concede 3 was embarrassing, and I was not happy about it. Fortunately, we did bounce back. We got a good 3-0 win against Reading. Matthew Lewis grabbing the Man of the Match award. Good news, he signed for us. Obviously, if you missed last episode, you missed that news, but he has signed for us permanently, and he's got 14 goals in 14 games so far this year. Of course, he was out for 3 to 4 months in the middle of the season, which has hit us hard, but he's come back better than ever. And in this result against Norwich, you can see he grabbed another 3 as he got a hat-trick, and we won 5-1. So looking at the league table, we're actually in 7th, which is really pleasing. We are a little bit off Chelsea, with whom themselves have a game in hand, but 7th place would still be a very good finish. You know, we've added some real quality to our side, and we're doing well. And speaking of quality to our side, we have made some signings. There's actually a fair few here. There's actually one. I'm going to start with the one that I've been forgetting for the last few episodes, but it's this guy, Roberto. Now, you're going to see £3 million paid with £7 million over 48 months. I decided to sign this guy in November, I think. It was a while ago. I don't know why I've not covered it in a video. It just slipped my mind. But this guy, I've spent £10 million on him, and it's a massive punt. I'm going to be completely honest. But the things I like about this guy is he has incredible mentals for a 17-year-old. He has incredible technicals for a 17-year-old. His pace isn't terrible, don't get me wrong, it's not great, and his physicals aren't anything to shout about, but those mentals and those technicals aged 17, I kind of wanted to take a punt on him because he looks like a kind of exciting player, but also a very different player to, I guess, the player I'd normally go for. So you can see my scout actually initially found him. My scout found him and was like, as scouts do, he's like, yo, I found this player, he's pretty decent, you should go check him out. So we scouted him further. You can see here, looking at what we know about him, he has a minimum of a 3-star potential, and 5-star could still be a possibility. Looking at his overall kind of stuff, he's an intelligent player, understands English, he has got a work permit as well, and he's very determined. As I said, his physicals are his letdown, but I don't know, I feel like he could be an incredible player for us, so I decided to take a punt on £10 million, which is a big punt, but given the club's financial situation, it was something I was willing to do. I had some money to burn, didn't really have any players, and this guy has incredible technicals and incredible attacking stats, and I'm hoping that he's going to be worth it. So that's Roberto. There's a few players in England who I've actually approached to sign, regens on regen day. The first one here, Joel Turner. Now, I should point out, these players haven't been scouted. Of course, with the new scouting system, it kind of limits your ability to, I guess, poach regens, quote unquote. So what I ended up doing was I ended up going through Championship and League One teams where the players have a lot less compensation and picking up a few for around £2 million total compensation for all the players. So we have Joel Turner here. He looks okay. He's coming in for a pretty cheap price, if I remember correctly, 75k. So he's a punt. If he comes off, he comes off. If he doesn't, he doesn't. The next one is Ronaldo McIlroy. Is that an LI? Who knows? Answers on a postcard. This guy, good player, joins us from Wolves. He hasn't got the best potential, as you can see now. We've scouted him a little bit more. But he's quite athletic, and I really like his 16 tackling, combined with some good aerial ability. I think he's going to be a pretty good defensive midfielder. Whether or not he'll make it at our team, I doubt it. But he joins us for 450k. You know, I had some money left over from the January transfer window, so I wanted to bring in a few players. The next player we have is Tommy Lambeth. Just a good poacher. You know, he has speed and he has some decent finishing. Aerially, he's absolutely tragic, but he has some good finishing, good mentals. From what I can see in terms of his bravery and his composure, doesn't look like it's going to be too bad. And he's joining us for £61,000. Two more players, the first of which, David Lacey, a player who, when I initially scouted, I was particularly excited by, and then I found out about his pace after he joined us. Now, I should point out he is the youngest ever player to play for Sheffield United's first team. He did immediately break into their side, and for a defender, he's got good heading, tackling, and marking. His physicals, as I said, let him down, but he's a punt. He's slow. But we only signed him for 100k, so, you know, we'll see how that goes. And the last player, perhaps the best one of the bunch, is this guy, Luke Butcher, joining us from Crystal Palace. Going to have high determination, whatever it is. Looking at it, he has some good composure, good decisions, good off the ball, good passing, and good tackling. I think he could be a very good deep line playmaker. It looks like his speed's going to let him down, but if we look at my scout report here, minimum of 2.5 star potential, potentially 4.5. We'll see what comes of that. But he looks like he could be an okay player for us, and he was one of the more expensive players we bought in. So anyway, the reason we have this money is because I upped my board's expectations for the season, and we also, because of the club's bank balance, I was able to request some more money. And I did also sign some more players, and these players were all immediate signings, so quite a lot of signings really this episode. But the first of which was Matthew Lewis, as you guys know, so we'll cover the others. The first one here was China. Now, you may remember this guy from, I think it was last Christmas, that I approached to sign him on a pre-contract, and I didn't know and realised that his contract didn't expire for another 18 months. Back last summer, I tried to negotiate a buy now price. If you don't know, when you approach a player and he's on a Bosman, sometimes you can negotiate a price with his club where you say, we'll buy him now for this price. And Pachua, I think it was, or however you want to say it, in... or Pachuca, rather, or Pachuca? Who knows? Answers on a postcard. I have a Veruca. No, I don't. I just wanted to make a poem. Anyway, we signed him for just shy of 500k. He's a good player, China. I like the look of him. Incredible centre mid. He's not got the best physicals, and I actually initially signed him thinking he was probably going to play on the right wing for us. But with our changing system, he's actually going to slot in quite nicely into our midfield. And as you can see, he's a world-class player. He's skillful, and he's looking like a fantastic little free transfer, essentially, we got in on at the end of his contract. Anyway, the last two players we did sign are both German youngsters, both picked up by my scout in Germany. Both have their contracts running out at the end of the year, so I offered them pre-contracts and then bought them now from their clubs. The first one here is Michael. This guy reminds me of Matty. If you watch the FC United and Manchester series, you'll know Matty. He's like the polar opposite of Matty in terms of he's defensive, but he's not so great in the air, and he's German. It's a weird coincidence, that. But anyway, we signed him for £1.4 million of buy now price. He's 17 years old, good defensive attributes, good speed, okay physical strength perhaps lets him down, but loads of time left to develop. We're going to have him being tutored, and I'm hoping he's going to come quite good for us. And the last player we have is Reitmeier, who we signed from Schalke. 19 years old, centre-back, again, another player whose contract was running out at the end of the year, so we approached him on a pre-contract. He looks very good. He's 19, plays in the German under-21 squad. I don't think he was happy at Schalke, which is why he wanted to join us. Because they dropped him into the second team and wouldn't give him a chance in the first team. We gave him one appearance in the first team, and as you can see, he grabbed a goal and put in a great performance. And for a 19-year-old centre-back, he looks very, very good. So anyway, that's a bit about what's been going on at the club. A fair few signings, really, for March time, but a few punts on regens, you know, a few free transfers, one big transfer in Roberto, who I'm hoping I'm not going to regret because he has just such good technicals. I wanted to give him a chance, and I don't know, he's my kind of player. It reminds me of kind of Gabriel Barbosa and a few other players from saves gone by. But anyway, looking at our team, just so you guys can see what I consider to be our starting 11, this is what I consider to be our best starting 11. As you can see, we have some injuries. I'm going to start with the good news first, and that's the fact that Iheanacho is only out for 7 weeks to 2 months, and that Batagueri is only out for 12 days to 2 weeks, so that's fine. But what about Sinogo, Jack? Well, brace yourself. He broke his leg. He broke his leg. So he's out for 6 months. Yeah, good news. So that's a massive ball ache, especially because I offered him a 5-year deal and he took it. 5-year contract extension, loving it. Breaks his leg the next game. Oh, FM, why do you do these things? But other than that, I mean, our team looks fairly good when it's fully fit. Obviously, Matthew Lewis back in the side now. He's fully fit. He's been performing well the last few games. You know, he's returned to form despite his injury. And elsewhere, I'm pretty happy with our squad. Perhaps at the centre-back position could be improved, but with Reitmeier and a few other players coming in, we've got options there. Anyway, looking at how we're going to quick pick this, I'm just curious to see who my assistant wants to play where. Because, I mean, look at the injuries. We have a lot of injuries. Both loanee centre-backs who we signed injured. Yeah, we've been very unlucky this season with injuries. Like, I wish there was an injuries history page in FM so I could show you the kind of extent of our bad luck. But unfortunately, there isn't. But it's been pretty tragic. And, yeah, it doesn't make things easy for us. But anyway, looking at the game today, we are taking on Liverpool in the FA Cup 6th round. Looking at the FA Cup 6th round, you can see here Swindon v Leeds is one of the games. If I just show you here, we've got 2 championship teams playing one another. We also had Wolves and Tottenham playing each other. Of course, Tottenham got relegated last year. I did receive some job offers in the last month from Tottenham, West Ham, who were in 5th in the Premier League. And also, I think there was one more, but I can't think who it was. I turned them all down because at this point I'm fairly committed to doing everything I can with Lewis. But kind of interesting to see 2 championship teams playing one another in 2 of the kind of 4 quarter-final ties. So guaranteed 2 championship teams through. Wolves beating Tottenham, debatably the weaker of the 2 championship teams they're going through. And Arsenal beating Chelsea 4-0. So the way this kind of pans out, I guess, is that if we can beat Liverpool today, we'll pretty much, you know, one of the favourites to win the entire thing at that point. Obviously, Arsenal would still be favourites, but you'd have to back us ahead of the championship teams. So I really, really, really want to get a result here. Because obviously, we want to do well. We want to try and win some silverware if we can. Obviously, Capital One Cup, disappointed to lose in the quarter-final. Or not quarter-final, the semi-final after extra time. That was pretty heartbreaking, but this is another chance for us this year to potentially find a way into Europe. Obviously, the way the results are going and the fact that there's 2 championship teams going to be left in the semi-finals is kind of nice. But yeah, it's not going to be easy. We're playing Liverpool away. Liverpool, a team in form. Done pretty well on this save. I believe Brendan Rodgers is still in charge, so it's not going to be easy. But we'll see how we get on. Looking at it early on, 15 minutes, no chances, no shots, no nothing. It's been a midfield battle. Curious to see how our 4-3-1-2 lines up against their 4-1-2-1-2. As they are on the attack here, can we defend? Saul, Juan Carlos Leon with the ball clear. Matthew Lewis, can you use your pace? Can you use your pace? Run! Run like the wind. Why am I quoting Toy Story? Is that Toy Story Run Like the Winged Bullseye? I don't know. This has been a very random episode, hasn't it? Anyway, Matthew Lewis losing the ball there. And now Balotelli's on the attack. Oh gosh, it's Mario Kouakou with the saving goal. The Ivorian Titan, I can't talk, between the sticks. What a save that was. Sturridge, Balotelli. Oh, they score at the second time of asking. Mario Balotelli with his 21st goal of the season. Kind of interesting to see both him and Sturridge still at Liverpool this far into a save. I mean, what year are we in now? 2022, I think? So that's kind of mad that they've kept the same front two for basically the last 7-8 years. Pretty unlucky there. Good initial block by, I think it was Harry-Ann. It was Harry-Ann, but unfortunately the rebound did find its way in. So that's unfortunate, but I mean, looking at the stats, they're all over us. So I probably do need to change something here, but it's a case of what do I change? What can we change about this system? I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to drop our midfield a little bit deeper. We're also going to play better at advanced forward. I kind of feel like we've got to maybe be a little bit more sturdy in midfield, get a few more players behind the ball. The thing with playing a centre attack in mid as a Trequartista is he really likes to sit in between our two strikers, and it can leave us a little bit short at the back at times. So playing China in that centre mid role, I'm hoping he's going to be able to close down and put some pressure on the deeper of the four midfielders that Liverpool have. Anyway, at the break, we are still only 1-0 down. We definitely improved following that little change, and hopefully we can just step things up now. Players not performing great, but we got a little bit more of the ball. We started to play a little bit better towards the end of the first half, and hopefully if we can get a goal early on here, we can really swing things in our favour. Although Balotelli's through. Kouakou, what a save, my son. That is not the first big save he has made so far this game, and he keeps us in it again as Mario Balotelli commits a foul. What is new? Why is our keeper going to chase the ball? Run! Run, Kouakou! That's bizarre. No idea why our keeper had to chase the ball into the opposition half, but he did. It's 1-0. It's not looking great. I think one of the issues we're going to have is the fact that there are just teams with superior quality to us at the moment, especially with the injuries we've had, and obviously we are missing one first-choice striker, two first-choice midfielders. But we're not out of this yet, but there's going to come a time here where I have to really take a chance and throw some men forward. And I think now is the time. So actually what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to change our wing-backs to wing-back support. The reason I'm doing this is because they're playing a 4-1-2-1-2. So they're not having too many wide men putting on pressure. I'm hoping we can maybe look to hit them on the break here. So yeah, we'll see how this gets on. I might make a tactical change or two. Is anyone looking particularly tired? Joe Allen's not been great for us. I might bring in... I might give Mikhail... Or Michael. It's Michael, Jack. Or is it Mitchell? I guess it's Mitchell. Who knows? Mitchell. Answers on a postcard. I'm going to bring him in. 17 years old. You have got a role to play, my son, at Anchorman. Go out there and make a difference. So yeah, looking at it, 15 minutes left to turn around our fortunes. We're throwing forward some men. Saul committing a foul. Is anything going to come from this? Send him off, ref. Get him off the pitch. Okay, it's only a yellow, but we've got a set piece here. It's going to be taken by Matthew Lewis. Big ball in, but cleared immediately. And now Origi on the break. Alderton, Sterling, Balotelli, Mario makes it 2-0, and that is probably the game over. Liverpool been the better of the two teams. They've really turned up at home. They've played better football. And unfortunately for us, it looks like despite our kind of fantastic effort in both cup competitions this year alongside the league, it's not going to be enough for us. And that's going to be all she wrote in terms of our cup dreams and aspirations for this season. Perhaps a little bit disappointing. But I mean, there's still time. There's still time. We've got 5 minutes. We've also got time to concede again, which is looking like it's going to be what happens is our centre-backs are caught in absolute no man's land. Alderton with the effort. Who was that? Harry-Ann again with another big block. But unfortunately for us, big blocks don't stop corners going in. As it is scored again by Bakayoko, who makes it 3-0. And that's game over. It was game over before. It's certainly game over now. I don't know if there's anything we can really take away from this. This season now just feels like the almost season. The season where we got drawn against the big fish and we were kind of in the small pond, and they kind of gobbled us up in the competitions when we looked and got our hopes up. Anyway, we'll tell the players they were unlucky. They were unlucky. Granted, we're playing away against Liverpool. If we look at the league table, you can see Liverpool in third. We've played Liverpool, we've played United. It's not been easy. Liverpool been a top 3 team for years now on this save. So that was never going to be easy. Unfortunate perhaps that we couldn't get more from it, or at least look slightly threatening in the game, but nevertheless, we have to look onwards and upwards. Looking at the league table, there's 8 games left. I don't think there's going to be much to play for towards the end of the season, so I think the next episode might just be the end of season livecom, where we'll obviously do the last game, and then the episode after that we'll do kind of our end of season review stuff. Looking at our fixtures we've got coming up, we have got City, Liverpool and Arsenal, so they're not going to be easy, but other than that, some perhaps winnable games there. Hopefully you guys will join me for the next episode. Apologies to the fans of Lewis that we couldn't get some silverware. It was an aspiration for this year, but it will have to go on hold. At least for another few months yet, until Sano goes back and we have a stab at it next year. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. A few random quotes and one-liners there. I don't know what I'm thinking. It's 9 AM on a Saturday morning and I'm never up this early recording videos. That's my excuse at least. But anyway, I'm rambling. What am I doing? Thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and hopefully I'll see you in a bit.